Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to welcome the coach and the vice captain of the Swiss team, Vladimir Petkovic and Valom Berami, for this Matchday -1 press conference. I want to remind you the languages that we take questions are the ones you have on the screen. English, Russian, German, French, and Spanish are the official languages for this press conference. As we have translators in Moscow that translate into the other languages, I would ask you always to say your language and where you're from, then come with the question so they know which person has to translate back home. So let's start with questions to tomorrow's game. Let's start with the gentleman over there.
Auf Deutsch. Thomas Schiffele, Tagesanzeiger Schweiz.
Thomas Schiffele from Schweizer.
Kannst du ein bisschen erzählen, was in den letzten Stunden mit der Mannschaft gemacht
Can you tell us about what has happened in this team in those past hours? Many people are saying that is even more united in a spirit of solidarity. How do you perceive the team and the team spirit within it?
Ich denke, die Mannschaft, was hat gezeigt, die wichtigste, was hat gezeigt, ist,
the team has displayed a great show of cohesion. When we have been down 1-0, we kept our calm, we kept the solidarity and the cohesion in the team, and I think that's an important trait of character for all players, for each individual. So we always had that feeling that, well, we are in a tough situation, but still, let's keep calm, let's go and play our play as we normally would, and then hopefully we're getting something positive out of it. And we've faced a number of situations before. We didn't have much time, but I think we have grown stronger, something that I believe is something that all of us have on display. Now tomorrow we're looking ahead to yet another match that has to be played in exactly that same spirit, calm spirit. It's a very important moment for us, mind you, because anything may happen really tomorrow. But when we're out there on the pitch, we actually show that we are united to get it done. Next question, please.
Ready? Here in front, please. This gentleman, second row.
Valon, je suis obligé de te poser la question. Quel est ton sentiment sur l'affaire qu'a secoué le pays?
Valon, what is your feeling about the affair that has been shaking up the country, the celebrations of Nizhny? Well, of course, it is a situation that none of us wanted. Luckily, I saw the reports in the media afterwards, because otherwise nobody talks about football, it only talks about that. I know that it is very interesting for people to read such things, but this should not be a time waster for us. We can't really give an answer or a short answer. The only thing that I can say is that we didn't really talk about it. We carried on talking about football. This is what we came for. And this is the best way to move forward during this World Cup.
Third row.
Gerald Dimray, Associated Press. Good afternoon, Coach. The question in English for you. Regarding those celebrations and looking forward, have you asked your players specifically not to do these celebrations again at the World Cup in order to avoid the distractions they've caused? And the second part is your reaction to the fines, to the punishment given to those players. Thank you.
What is important is that we all play football together. You guys, we are depending on football and the emotions of football, and therefore I think football is rightly an emotional game, and it has to be. Now, what I think is what has happened, well, it happens basically, and now we have to be aware of things like that, and we have to learn from that, and let us also focus in the remainder of this tournament on football, a beautiful game that brings so many people with the great emotions, with the great organization here in Russia. We should all be happy to be involved in such a festival of sport.
Jorge Martínez de Teletica de Costa Rica.
Hello, Jorge Martínez,
Desde el sorteo todos sabíamos por la actualidad futbolística que Suiza llegaba con más presión a este partido. Con el liderato a la vista, sin estar clasificados aún, y contra una selección de Costa Rica eliminada, se hace su rival de mañana más peligroso.
Does that make your opponent tomorrow even more dangerous?
Yes, I do think so. Now, obviously, we're also trying to prepare based on that scenario. This is an opponent who doesn't want to go home with nil points, obviously is under pressure also by the public. And they also obviously want to show some good football for their own team and also for their own country. So they want to rake in a few points there, we realize that. But still, as always, we focus on ourselves, concentrate on what we need to do, and I think we should get it done. We will be winning this group, and so that would be the ideal scenario. We want to top the group there.
Ist jetzt die Zeitlimite für die Fotografen. Please, photographers, it's the moment to leave the room. The 5 minutes are over. Thank you for doing this. Thank you. And we go on with the gentleman on the left.
Вопрос на русском языке, вопрос главному тренеру. Владимир, завтра вы можете выйти из группы, и в то же время вы можете выйти из группы с первого места, за собой Бразилию. А какой из этих вещей вы сейчас думаете больше?
Which is your first priority among these two things? Thank you.
Well, you're right. First of all, I need to prepare my team for the upcoming match. We today still have the chance to talk about that opponent. And mind you, it's not going to be an easy one because this is a good quality opponent. And what we've seen so far is that they're playing really well. So we're trying to do our best. We hope we can celebrate a victory. And then what's going to happen from there on the pitch, we'll see when it comes up. But talking about subjunctives now is not something I would like to do. It's the result that matters most of all.
Buenas, La Nación de Costa Rica.
Hello, La Nación, Costa Rica. A question in Spanish for the coach, please. After 2 matches, in your view, which is the main virtue of Costa Rica, what you've seen in this World Cup?
Ich kann nicht nach 0 Punkten reden über Vorteile vom Gegner und sicher
after 0 points, obviously, I'm going to find it very hard to talk about the virtues of a team. But obviously, they are a proud team, and they have basically nothing to lose, and they may be potentially dangerous there. But we should focus on what we need to do. We have to be powerful enough from the get-go all the way to the 90th minute, and we want to win that match.
Stefan Wies, Nachrichtenagentur aus der Schweiz.
Stefan Wies, News Agency from Switzerland. A question to the coach as well. Now, the affair, the possible bans, I could imagine that the preparations for this match were very special. So until 48 hours before the first whistle, you wouldn't know if 3 of your players could play. Can you briefly talk about that? How has your team prepared also in terms of players? Because there are some matches that may, in the round of 16, see some players being banned potentially. So have you taken that into consideration? Well, there's a simple and a hard part of the question. The simple part is, well, I'm only looking at the match ahead, and once we complete our training tonight, I'll know who is going to be fielded. And then tomorrow also I will know pretty well which of my players can be in the opening squad or could not. Well, So basically, this is not something that we thought should put us under pressure at all. I think we'll continue as we have in the past.
Etienne Vuillemin, Aargauer Zeitung, auf Deutsch. Eine Frage an den Trainer.
In German. Question to the coach as well. Now, there have been a number of games there where Switzerland was behind, but you had a good mentality that you talked about and new steps, and you were able to catch up. Now, why has that happened? How can you explain that situation, that you're falling behind in the first half, and then you always catch up? And how can you make sure this is not going to happen in the matches going forward? Well, when you talk about mentality, we always need to take the lead. So leading and opening the score is always very important, and obviously a lot depends on the quality of our opponents. Now, some of our opponents have been brilliant, and pressing against them, against those brilliant rivals, obviously is not going to be easy, and we need to squeeze out a result, which I think that can be done. We do not necessarily need to provoke the rival, of course, but we need to actively take the lead, and we will do so.
It's a question in English for Berami, please. I'm Edgar, I'm from Brazil. And I'd like to ask you, of course, your focus on tomorrow's game. You've got a play against Costa Rica, but since you have already played against Brazil and Serbia, could you please share your thoughts about what's going to happen in the other match, in your opinion?
I think I kind of expected the slow start from Brazil, you know. They're going to go better and better every game, so... And they have more confidence. I saw the second game they play differently. So I think Brazil is still the favorite for this group and still one of the favorites to win the World Cup. But Serbia has a good quality, especially in the physical way, and they're gonna play probably long ball like they did against us, and they do it very well. They're doing very well. And Brazil don't like the physical contact. They don't like so much. So it's going to be an interesting game. But as you said, my head is completely in another game. So.
Okay, gentlemen, yeah.
Вопрос главному тренеру на русском языке.
The question to the head coach in Russian. The coach in Russision. Lomonosov, Sovietsky sport. Shaqiri was running all through the pitch against Serbia in the center, right and left. He was attacking at times. Is he some kind of a libero? Is he playing freely, or is this a goal that was set for him tactically?
Well, we created what we call an organized chaos, and we're going to continue to do that in the future as well. We're going to play around with that, indeed.
Second row.
Oui, Laurent Ducré, agence graphique suisse. Une question à Valon. Est-ce que le match contre la Serbie
question for Valon. The match against Serbia on Friday, was that your most beautiful match? Do you think that Switzerland was stronger than Portugal and stronger than Argentina when it comes to quality? No, I think that from a quality point of view, we watched the videos and we also committed a lot of errors. We provoked too many situations where we ended up in a difficult spot, especially in the first 20 minutes. We were not really ready to face a team such as Serbia, even though we had prepared very well. We were not there. During the match, we gave them too much space, especially because this can't be acceptable for a team that wants to be at the top. We did watch the replays, and we're going to have to improve our performance. I don't think it was one of our best matches.
Samuel Burgener, Neue Zürcher Zeitung, Deutsch.
Samuel Burgen from the NZZ, Switzerland. Mr. Petkovic, we always talked about taking that extra step ahead now, and you said the round of 16 is not enough for you, and you want to go beyond that. Now you have 4 points out of 2 matches. Do you feel vindicated in your earlier assessment of your team? Well, maybe someone has put that into wrong words. I've never declared about objectives. I've always been saying, as you may remember, that we want to win the upcoming, in other words, the next match. We'll never be happy, no matter what phase of the group we're playing. We'll not be happy with losing any match. And, well, obviously, when you mention the round of 16 or even a quarter-final, I'll never be happy losing a match, but I've never really set myself a target saying, look, this is where we're going to go. So our philosophy is the upcoming one is always the most important and the most difficult one.
Eine Frage auf Deutsch an den Trainer.
Question in German to the coach, Florian Ratzer, 20 minutes.
Sie haben vorhin gesagt, Sie werden sich erst
you just said that you'll take a decision only at a later stage in terms of the lineup. But is that something that you take into account, that there may be players that, when booked with a yellow card, could be suspended in the round of 16? Do you bear that in mind, or do you really just look at the Costa Rica match? No, not at all. Whether it's the second or the third or the fourth match, we'll do anything that it takes to have the best starting 11 on the pitch. And this week will guarantee us, could guarantee us 3 points.
Wallon, wenn du Trainer wärst,
now, Valon, if you were a coach, would you field Valon Berami tomorrow because you've already been booked? You had some problems, physical problems. It's the third match. Maybe a round of 16 coming up.
Viele Probleme mit Berami haben.
Well, of course, there could be quite a few problems with Berami. I realise that, but. Honestly, it's a decision for the coach to take, not me. Now, as the coach has said before, he will see us on the pitch, and he is taking the best team he can get. So, also in line with the mentality and the fighting spirit. So, it's not for me to say. I'm not feeling that I'm bringing problems, physical problems. When I get a yellow card, well, I don't mind, you know, and if it's in the round of 16, I will still be playing with the same passion that I would elsewhere. We are not a team, in other words, where we should think about things like that. This is about playing flat out, 100%, and all of us together want to achieve that result. Let's not think about what if happens if someone gets a yellow card.
Can we go to the last three questions? The gentleman in blue in the back, yes.
Valon, question in English. As a leader on the team, have you or the other leaders talked to the players about those celebrations to avoid any potential suspensions in games going forward?
Of course, they talk about that about 3 days. Everyone around us, we talked like maybe the next day. It was a little bit. Sometimes was joking around, you know. Of course, we are happy, you know, nobody's suspended, but there is something that goes a little bit more deeper, and we should spend a little bit more time, and it's not appropriate to spend it now, the time, because we have to think about the main things, which is play football. And it won't happen in the future, you know, because it won't be a game like this, a special game like this, so that's the main things, and it's not something that we have in mind that is going to happen, or maybe it will happen in their club, but not in the World Cup. So this is a case closed. Then, if you want to talk much about that, you know, it's not the time now.
No more. Okay. The first 15 minutes of the training session are open for media, so see you out there.